Let's just make sure the YouTube goes live. And then we are in, like Flynn, like you do. Here it is. Here it is. Yeah, there's the ticket. All right. Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, or good evening, whatever the time zone's doing, wherever you're at. Happy quarantine. Geesh, what else can you say, really? Today's my wife's birthday. It is March 17th, 2020, St. Patrick's Day. And this is probably going to be a different type of St. Patrick's Day than many of us are used to. Probably a little less exciting, presumably. And my Irish wife is a St. Patty Day baby. She was born today. And unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do anything all that exciting. To try to put a positive on it, I feel like all the other birthdays will now, like I pretty much, as far as being a married dude who has a wife's birthday now, I feel like I can only go up from here, really. I mean, I feel like it's just like, if I ever plan a birthday for her and it's okay, but not like, well, it was better than the pandemic one, wasn't it? Okay. So I did okay. I think, I don't want to say what I think I'm going to do on the off chance she might be watching, but I do have a plan. I do have a plan, and I think she's going to like it, and I hope so. Anyway, I do have a plan. Yeah, I have a plan. Huh? Just going to leave it there. She's probably not watching, but on the off chance that she is, I don't want to say out loud what I'm going to do. But as you guys know, Illinois, Florida, Arizona still having their primaries today. Tom Perez doesn't care at all. Tom Perez was like, well, the states, they're just going to do what they're going to do. They're prepared for your safety. That's what we were told. I really thought when everything was starting to unfold on Monday, they were going to cancel. I know Ohio canceled. I really thought everyone was going to cancel. I really did think that. I was like, they got to. This looks so bad that during a pandemic, you're going to put this kind of pressure on people like, well, do you want to go out and vote? Do you want to go out and vote? Because you have two choices. One choice is a guy who's going to take this country in a better direction. The other choice is a guy who will handle another pandemic just as badly as Trump did. And yes, Joe Biden would be just as bad as Trump in terms of handling a pandemic. He'd be clueless. So anyway, but we were told that everyone's safety was prepared for. Well, what's been going on so far today? Let's take a look, shall we? Let's go over to the Twitter. This is leftist agitator Jordan Barney, and here's what she has to say about this. Check this out. She's going to give you her role as well as what's going on.
I'm supposed to be an election judge tomorrow in the city of Chicago, and I've received absolutely zero communication about any sort of precautions that they are taking for COVID-19. Not a single word, not an email, not a letter, not a call. My friend had her training after the labeling of it as a pandemic on Wednesday. She had her training on Friday. The person who was training her had to bring their own hand sanitizer, and they had hand sanitizer before and after touching the machines. But my friend asked, will there be hand sanitizer and will this be standard procedure on the day of elections? And she said no. They were not taught, and I was not taught, to wipe down machines before and after use. We were not told whether we will be given hand sanitizer, whether we will be given wipes, nothing. I just called the Board of Elections, talked to someone. She said, there will be hand sanitizer, there will be wipes, there will be no gloves, there will be no masks. And I said, why wasn't anyone notified about even the hand sanitizer or the wipes? Are we teaching anyone? Are we telling anyone that they have to do this? She said they, quote unquote, didn't have time to send out a mass communication. They did not have time to email. And they said they're trying to call some people now to let them know. But people aren't being taught to do anything differently. Election judges are dropping out left and right. not just elderly. Friends of mine who are in their 20s are dropping out. I just called the governor's office. Well, first, the governor's Chicago office is nothing but a busy signal. I had to call Springfield, talk to someone there. I literally spoke, they listened to me, and then they said, "Thank you for your concerns. I'll be sure to pass it on. Goodbye." This is an absolute mess. I'm not one who's usually scared. I've been fine, but I'm scared to work as an election judge where there has been no precautions being let known, because even if they have hand sanitizer and wipes, that doesn't help if they don't teach people what they need to do and when. Plus,
So that's the video. This is your elections. Republicans, hey, poor people, hurry up and die. Democrats, hey, poor people, vote for us, then hurry up and die. Vote for us first, then you can go die. They don't care at all. The Democratic establishment doesn't care at all. They don't care about you. They don't care about voter turnout. They like low voter turnout. Are you kidding? Low voter turnout benefits their guy, Joe Biden. They know that. Low voter turnout always benefits the person to the right. It always does. It always will. So let's see what else. I mean, this is happening in real time. We're watching this unfold in real time. And there's been a lot of chilling things going on, but they all kind of have the same theme, that this is just a total circus. This is just crazy. Here, check this out. All right. Here's an election day thread from Rebecca Pearl. Election day so far. 5/8 of election staff are elderly. We were provided with no cleaning supplies. Sounds familiar. We are missing an entire blue box, meaning anyone who comes to this precinct cannot vote. So the precinct this person is at, the people who come there, they can't vote anyway. We are missing 2 election judges, and nobody is answering our calls. Voters now showing up, and we have to explain that we don't have the supplies for them to vote. And still no cleaning supplies. This is in Illinois, by the way. Off to a great start. Here's another tweet. Turned away about 20 voters so far. Many of them aren't able to come back another time. Blue box is now over 2 hours late. I have turned away about 35 people now, including one paramedic who is unable to vote later because of a newly packed day due to coronavirus. Now, here Rebecca tweets, just received cleaning supplies for 11 hours worth of voters. Now, for anyone who's listening to the podcast later, the picture that Rebecca has in her tweet here is one container of disinfecting wipes and one container of hand sanitizer. One hand sanitizer. It's a regular size, not the airplane size, at least. But just one container, one square container of hand sanitizer, and one container of Clorox disinfecting wipes for 11 hours. They should be wiping down the machines before and after each use. But as you saw in the previous video, they weren't trained to do that. They weren't even told to do that because people, quote, didn't have time. Now over 4 hours since we were supposed to receive the blue box. And here we go. So this is her, by the way, so this is her thread in real time, what she's going through as a poll worker. Now over 4 hours since we were supposed to receive the blue box, and we are being told to expect it to not to expect it to show up at all. So the blue box ain't coming. By the way, Tom Perez resign is trending on Twitter, as it should be. Now, Rebecca says this, I'm not even old enough to vote. So this person who's going through all this, who's volunteering at the polls, she's not even old enough to vote. She can't even participate herself. But here's what else she says. Rest in peace, American democracy. Lost around 100 eligible voters already. And it's only 9:30 a.m. when they were tweeting this. Here's an update after that. 6 hours since we were supposed to receive voting supplies and still nothing. 5 hours ago, we were told the blue box with all the voting supplies was on its way. Now looking like we may never receive supplies, meaning nobody can vote at this precinct. That precinct is Ward 44, Precinct 33. Now here's a message that she has for everyone at that precinct. If you're supposed to vote at Ward 44, Precinct 33, please DM me your name, number, and address, and go to the 19th District Police Station to vote. So shortly after she tweeted that out, 2-hour-long wait at the police station, and still no supplies after 7 hours. So this is what they're doing to people who want to vote. They're not prepared. They don't have the supplies. They're not taking proper precautions. They don't care about the poll workers. They don't care about the judges. They don't care about the people involved. They don't care about the voters. They just want to push this thing through. Because low voter turnout will benefit Joe Biden. They know that. This isn't just a government that doesn't care about you. This is a government working against its people. This is a government actively working against its people. You think they don't know what to say? You think they don't know what's going on? You think they don't listen? They didn't listen yesterday when they were saying, here's what we have to do. Here's the precautions we have to take. This is what we're on path to get to. And if we get to this, we're going to be like Italy. You think they weren't hearing all the cities shutting down? Los Angeles, they're saying bars, restaurants, no. This is unbelievable. So here's the media. Here's what the media has to say. You're not going to hear much about this on the corporate media, by the way. You'll hear very little, if anything. All right. An Illinois primary like no other. This is what the Chicago Tribune posted last night. Low turnout, poll worker shortage expected amid coronavirus. Well, they got it. They got it. Chicago election officials stress safety and encourage voters to practice social distancing, even offering alternative, less crowded voting sites that didn't have supplies. Hey, there's alternative sites. They don't have supplies or anything. You can't actually vote, but they're there. They're alternative sites. Here's something they had the nerve to say. I want everyone to know that Chicago's voting system is safe. I want to encourage everyone to go out to vote. Wow. Wow. That aged well. That from last night. That sure as hell aged well. That aged really well. So let's go over to Florida for a little bit. Here's something from Fiorello from the Convo Couch. The Florida primary so far. Extremely low turnout due to the coronavirus. 762 poll workers did not show. Closed polling stations, so people have to drive further. Florida has a lot of retirees, so the people going to vote are working or over 65, and they're at high risk. So there's a lot of high-risk people that are going out to vote, that are working. Here's a couple tweets she highlighted. I just cannot go out and vote today. This is from Oliver Willis. I just cannot go out to vote today. It is killing me not to do so, but it is too risky for me. I hate this. Florida primary. Catherine Cannon voted for Bernie in Florida. I was the 31st vote. They normally have about 300 votes by the time I arrived. So typically a place that has about 300 votes had 31 today. 31 to 300. Democrats are death cultists. I do love that Twitter handle. That's an awesome Twitter handle. Someone messaged our students for a Bernie group chat at 10:15 a.m. saying they were the 9th person to vote at our precinct. Voting has been open for 3 hours. The coronavirus is depressing turnout. Governor Ron DeSantis, you are engaging in voter suppression. Now here's a sign from a precinct. They just left a sign written in Sharpie, and it just says, election judges did not show up. Please contact the county which you live in or the voting website for updates. And what if Fiorella tells us about 762 poll workers did not show? And it's not their fault, by the way. It's not their fault. It's the Democratic establishment's fault. It's the system's fault. It's the DNC's fault with allowing this to go through. It's the state's fault for not suspending the primary and moving it. I mean, wow. I mean, this is like, we're watching this in real time. So it's just chaotic all over the place. And people are putting their health on the line to go vote, and they're showing up to places and they're like, we don't even have the stuff for you to vote. You can't, hey, I know you for some people, they might have really had to gather up the courage to be like, hey, I'm gonna sanitize my hands. I got hand sanitizer with me. I'm keeping a safe distance. I'm being really careful. And there you go. You show up and you can't even vote. You're not even able to vote. Wow. This is something. This is really something. But, guys, I will say this. I retweeted this earlier. And I may have acted preemptively. Check this out. Billionaires not lifting a fucking finger to help shit. These are the people you all defend every day. We have regular people helping each other stay afloat while billionaires sit on their asses, probably thinking of a way to make money off of this pandemic. I retweeted that because I thought, yeah, that's pretty accurate. And this is from Nigerian OG. Billionaires aren't helping. These are the people you defend every day. Which is true, by the way. Everyone was talking about what a nice guy Tom Steyer was. What's Tom Steyer doing to help anybody right now? He has billions. But you know what, guys? I did speak too soon. I did speak a little bit too soon. Actually, Jeff Bezos, believe it or not, Jeff Bezos is doing his part to help people. Check it out. Amazon, staff told to work overtime as virus spikes demand. Workers at Amazon UK warehouses are told to work overtime to tackle huge demand due to coronavirus pandemic, despite government calls to restrict social contact. The GMB union says workers across at least 4 different sites were informed they had to work compulsory overtime from Monday. National Officer McRiss said Amazon had put profit before safety. They make it sound like it's the first time. You know how often Amazon puts profit before safety? All the time. And it ain't going to stop. And who knows who's handling the products you order? Who knows? Huge spike in demand. Amazon employs 27,000 people in the UK, has 17 warehouses. One worker at Amazon's warehouse in Scotland, who was asked not to be named, told the BBC that staff in the inbound goods departments are having additional hours imposed. The workers, who thinks they have a compulsory overtime clause in their contract, believes this will be for at least 2 weeks. They said there is extra pressure on the workforce to deal with an influx of goods the company is bringing in due to a spike in demand. Sought-after items include bleach, hand wash, nappies, large boxes of rice, and powdered milk. The worker added these actions are very rare outside of the Christmas trading period or Amazon Prime Week. Now, the worker said other departments in the warehouse are not saying staff should do more hours, but offering them up to 60 hours of voluntary overtime. Because Amazon, they say you got to do it. Other places, it's a voluntary thing. But, Amazon, they couldn't do that. Which, by the way, so I tweeted this article out, as I always tweet out the articles that I do on Get Your News On with Ron. And check this out. Former Amazon worker here. This was the response to a tweet. Former Amazon worker here. Amazon warehouses are disease factories. It's only a matter of time before the coronavirus works its way into the Amazon fulfillment network, if it hasn't already, and it probably has. Conditions inside Amazon warehouses could not be more ideal for maximizing coronavirus spread among a workforce because workers cannot socially distance. Now, I've never been inside an Amazon warehouse, but everything you hear about those places, I think this person's telling the truth. Everything you hear about them, workers are working side by side. At one point, they had a system in place where if you didn't hit a certain quota, you didn't get paid. Amazon was doing that until they couldn't get away with it anymore. They were experimenting with having robots shock your hands if you made a disapproved move with your hands. Oh, and they have ambulances outside of Amazon warehouses because Jeff Bezos decided it was cheaper to just take someone who passes out from heat exhaustion, take them to the hospital, instead of having proper ventilation in the warehouses and proper air conditioning services in the warehouses. He'd rather just take the fallen pleb to the hospital. And I'm sure they get to foot the hospital bill later, too. That's what Amazon does. So, yeah, I'd imagine the conditions are a little less than ideal for safety and for stopping the spread of a virus. And that's what Amazon's doing. They're making money hand over fist off of this. Let me read those tweets again, by the way. And now again, Amazon making warehouse workers work overtime. You got no say in the matter. Former Amazon warehouse worker here. Amazon warehouses are disease factories. It's only a matter of time before the coronavirus works its way into the Amazon fulfillment network, if it hasn't already, and it probably has. Conditions inside Amazon warehouses could not be more ideal for maximizing the virus spread among a workforce because workers cannot socially distance. And what are people supposed to do? Who needs supplies? People go to the stores, the shelves are barren. Where else are they supposed to go? What are they supposed to do? I mean, this is what happens when you have capitalism. This is capitalism at work. Capitalism is only set up for profit. So it's not set up to help people. It's not set up to handle an emergency. That's not what it's for. And when you have an economy based off of nonstop consumption, whenever something like this happens, where you kind of need to look out for each other and take preventative measures and take precautions and put humanity front and center, our society has no idea how to deal with it. We're not equipped to deal with it. This is our system. And no, it's not just unregulated capitalism. It's capitalism. It's capitalism. Full stop. This is what capitalism is. This is what capitalism does. It's completely unsustainable, and it has failed miserably the same way every single time it's ever been tried, and it always will. But you're spoon-fed from the day you're born. Miles and miles of propaganda about things that capitalism supposedly does that it actually doesn't do. Oh, it feeds the entrepreneurial spirit. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. That's human nature. This has nothing to do with capitalism. What capitalism does is it gives you an economy based solely on consumption, based solely on profit, based solely on the bottom line of an intangible entity, and it puts you second. And when a pandemic happens, we the people, are screwed. But who gets bailed out? All those entities where profit comes first. They're talking about bailing out the airlines now. They already gave the banks trillions. What are they doing for you? Nothing. Nothing. They're saying, hey, you're all supposed to stay inside, but screw you. Go vote. Go vote, or you can't complain about the consequences. When we put up Joe Biden, a babbling buffoon, and he goes and loses to another babbling buffoon, tough luck. We're getting 4 more years of Trump. A guy who doesn't think climate change is real when we are facing climate catastrophe. A guy whose only accomplishment was continuing the war machine, even though he said he wasn't going to. Continuing the war machine. And then giving a tax break to all of his billionaire rich friends. But here, we're now everyone's saying they're going to give us some relief. People are saying that they're going to give we the people some relief. So check this out. Kamala Harris, she's got a plan. So now people are offering some relief. So Kamala Harris says this: we cannot ignore the strain that emergency situations like the coronavirus pandemic put on many families who are already living paycheck to paycheck. I introduced the LIFT Act to give working families up to $500 a month. We need it now more than ever. Kamala's going to give you $500 a month, guys. But we gave the bank $1.5 trillion. She's going to give you $500 a month. Now, Ilhan Omar, she's looking at something a little different. Check this out. Ilhan is, I'm introducing a bill this week to give $1,000 to every American adult, $500 for every child, no exceptions. We need to support the American people now. This is just a start. I'm imagining she means monthly. Maybe she means one time, but I'd imagine it's monthly. And here, who's who's actually the biggest, the biggest roller in this scenario. Now, you guys remember Joe Kennedy? He's the pharmacist who is best known for his inability to use chapstick. Here's what he has to say. Look what he wants to do. Joe Kennedy wants to do this. $4K to every adult who makes under $1,000 per year, $2K to every adult who makes over $1,000 a year, and $1K for every child 18 or younger. Now, I don't know if this is a one-time payment or monthly. I'd imagine this is a one-time payment. He's shooting pretty high. Now, what do I think? I think this is just politics to make himself look good. I don't see his bill going anywhere. Now, the $1,000 a month thing, I could see that going somewhere because people across the political aisle have talked about it. Tulsi Gabbard's talked about an emergency UBI. Andrew Yang's been talking about UBI for a long time, and he brings it up on CNN. And Mitt Romney mentioned it. Now Ilhan Omar's working on an actual bill. So we'll see. But look, it's kind of funny. It's a little funny watching them all like Kamala Harris. I'm going to give you $500 a month. And if your kids don't go to school because the schools are closed, I won't throw the parents in jail. That's my word. I promise. How uninspiring is Kamala Harris? Just on every level. Even just, she went lower than Mitt Romney did. I mean, first of all, this really shows how Democrats have no concept of negotiating tactics. Well, we might give people $1,000 and then we might make it monthly during the pandemic. I have a plan that gives people $500 a month. Okay. Wait, we're going to give $4,000 to every adult. Joe Kennedy. I think Joe Kennedy's just doing that to try to score votes. He's hoping that people that don't pay much attention are going to see this later, and they're going to be like, Joe Kennedy wanted to give us $4,000. Because there's no way. I mean, Joe Kennedy is just a blank suit. He's a pharmacist. Again, the only thing he's known for is his inability to use chapstick. Remember when he did that response to, I think it was one of the State of the Unions, he talked about absolutely freaking nothing. And then a bunch of Democratic establishment sycophants were like, he's the future. He's our future nothing talker. We need another establishment blank suit politician to talk about nothing. Joe Biden's getting up there. We need another guy. Joe Kennedy's going to be our dude. Ah, man. So we'll see if we see. I'm not counting on any type of UBI. I know it might happen. Um, I'm not counting on it, and you shouldn't either. Um, this entire thing has really proven, not that this is anything we didn't know, but it's really proven who the government serves. The government serves the elite. The government serves the corporations. And not only do they not serve you, they actively work against you. They're going to give money to the airline industry. They already gave a bunch of money to the banks. They're not going to give you anything. They're not going to give you any type of relief. Unless they realize they have absolutely, positively no frickin' choice. Unless they realize there's no other way around this. And unless their friends at Wall Street say, hey, you got to give the people something. You got to give, because otherwise the economy is just going to shut down. You got to give the people something. If it comes down to that, if the 1%, if the ruling class says, yes, you got to give the people something, then we'll get some type of UBI. But if and only if that happens. And I don't know if it's going to. There's a chance it might not. There's a good chance it might not. But meanwhile, they got 1.5 trillion for the banks. 1.5 trillion for the banks. Nothing for you. But you can see them all tweet nice things. Joe Kennedy, let's see how many. Let's see how many. All right, so there are at least 34,000 suckers in the U.S. right now. 34,000 suckers. Someone asked if it's monthly. Let's see what they say under that. Yeah, they don't know. But we must go farther than that. Here's what else Joe Kennedy says. Because the economic impact of this pandemic will continue, this relief would continue annually based on the strength of our economy and would be paired with immediate unemployment insurance and a historic investment in Medicaid. He doesn't say Medicare for all. He doesn't say Medicare for all. Just an historic investment. And more people are buying this, by the way. Now there's 34,100 suckers in the U.S. right now. Joe Kennedy. Sure. Yeah. I'll bet that's sincere. All right. This is something. You know, on a lighter note, I do think I figured out what I want to do for my wife's birthday, and I think it's going to be pretty cool. So I'm excited about that. She's actually not home at the moment. She had to go in to where she works, get everything set for the work at home situation. So that's what she's dealing with right now. But, you know, Kate, what's up? My dad is 85 and an Illinois election worker. Wow. Wow. 4Q Pritzker. Wow. Right on, Kate. That's, well, I wish your dad all the best, and I hope he stays very safe. I hope he stays as safe as he can, because this is crazy what's going on. This is really crazy what's going on. 85 years old. All power to him. I hope he's really careful, Kate, because it's kind of crazy what's going on right now. It's really crazy what's going on right now. Wow, that's something. Guys, I hope you're all staying safe. I hope you're all doing what you got to do. And yeah, this is nuts. This is really nuts. I think Lucy's kind of tired of me being around all the time. I think Lucy's kind of like, dude, don't you have to, aren't you going to go somewhere? Actually, the one time me and my wife, we took our walk. We do our daily walk. And we were like, well, Lucy probably needs some alone time. We got to give Lucy her house back. She needs the apartment back. We got to give her a little bit of space because she, you know, she's got stuff to do. She's like, my lounging is, you're just always here. Messes up my lounging chi. I don't know how long this is going to go on for. It could be a while. It could be, Trump at one point said July, August. It's tough to say. It really is. I don't know. I mean, right now, and by the way, for tour dates, I know that you guys have been asking about stuff. I mean, right now we're just one day at a time, like everyone else. We have not canceled any tour dates. Well, we canceled Florida because that already happened, and we're working on rescheduling that, and we should have some announcements soon. But right now, everything's just kind of on hold. I mean, most of my musician friends, comedian friends, they're on hold too. Like some have canceled stuff into April. Some are waiting to see what happens at the end of the month. That's what we're doing. We're waiting and we're seeing. And by the end of the month, we should know more. And of course, if we need to cancel, we're absolutely going to. And if you already purchased tickets, don't worry. You will be taken care of. No one's going to be stuck. You'll get refunds. Or, hopefully everything will get rescheduled and we'll go back to normalcy soon. But, you don't need to worry is my point. And hopefully we'll be able to see you guys when we want to see you. But if you're having any symptoms, please do take it seriously. There was some threads going out there of people who have had it, and it's like, it's intense. It sounds very intense. Dude, it's Priest. What's up? You are aware that cats throw parties when you're gone, right? If she's complaining, it's probably because she has a party planned. I can't disprove that, Dude, it's Priest. I can't disprove that. Although Lucy, never been the nicest to other cats. Not a fan of other animals in general. She's never been the nicest to other cats. She lived with another cat for a long time. My ex had a cat. And they kind of got along, but she lived with a couple dogs once. She was not a fan of them. She was pretty mean. She really did not like the other dogs. But I actually don't know where she is right now. I think she's chilling on the bed. I mean, I think she's just kind of like, I don't know. I mean, her rhythm has to be thrown off because it's like we're just always around now. And she's just like, what do you guys do now? I don't know what you're doing. I don't know why you guys are here. Guys, if you are stable right now and you have a little extra income, please do consider becoming a patron. Patreon.com/Ron Placone for a Give What You Can level. You get all kinds of exclusive content. I'm doing patrons only streams almost daily. I'm doing a bunch of those streams. I'll probably do one later today. I announce it on the Patreon. Then I respond directly to patrons, and the replay is only available on Patreon. Judas Priest, what's up? Cats are great actors. Amen. And again, that's patreon.com/Ron Placone. Patreon.com/Ron Placone. Give What You Can level. Everyone gets all the same stuff. If you are stable right now and able to do that and interested, there's a ton of content on there. There's over 100 writings, about 50 podcasts, a bunch of videos that aren't available anywhere else. My album for its entirety. So if you're looking for a lot of extra stuff, patreon.com/Ron Placone. And please only do that if you are able to do so right now. If you're not on stable ground right now financially, I don't want anyone to be stressed because of me. I certainly would never want anything like that. So please only do that if you are able. Kat, what's up? Thank you so much for your generosity. I appreciate that very, very much. Kat says, congrats on your marriage to Lucy, Ron. Much happiness to you both. I appreciate that very much. Thank you very much, Kat, and thank you very much for your generosity. That's very kind of you. I appreciate that. Yeah, there you. Ron, do you think Bernie should be calling for the canceling of all primary voting for the next couple months? I think that, yeah, if that's the writing on the wall, I think that all the candidates should call for a cancellation of the primary. I mean, I know, like, we weren't sure, like, is there a way they can do it safely? But I think we found out they can't do it safely. Heaven forbid we figured out a way to have online voting at this point. Heaven forbid we would have figured that out by now. We don't. Why? Because they want to make it easy to cheat. They like being able to cheat. We caught them flipping votes in Iowa. We caught them using these very susceptible machines in California, and they did nothing about it. And California was a circus, and they knew that would benefit Biden. And who's a big supporter of Biden? Alex Padilla, who's in charge in California. Greg Palast unpacked all this stuff. Greg Palast put out mini docs about it. We covered them on this show. You can go see it. So this is by design. This is by design. So yeah, I would like to see the candidates get involved and be like, we need to cancel this. Because and my heart goes out to everyone in Illinois, everyone in Arizona, everyone in Florida. This is crazy. This is freaking crazy. Why couldn't they have just... why couldn't they have just done an emergency vote by mail? Why couldn't the federal government have given a lot of extra funding to the post office, created a safe environment where people had proper social distancing, where they were paid extra for their time, instead of having mandatory overtime like what Amazon's doing in unsafe conditions? Why couldn't they have done something like that, where it was just a huge vote by mail effort? And they paid time and a half to people who weren't showing symptoms, who were able-bodied, who were low risk, who were able to do that. It just seems like there's so many better ways this could have been handled. And I understand it's still a pandemic. I get that. We're all in a pandemic. But it seems like there's so many other ways this could have been handled. But this goes to show you, the DNC doesn't care about the vote. They don't care about the people. They don't care. They don't give a shit about... George Carlin said it a long time ago. He's right. They don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about you. Oh, man. Right. Kate, thank you. Dudas Priest, thank you. Kat, thank you very much. And Kate, please tell your dad to stay very safe, please. Guys, I'll be back. I'll be back soon. Dude, what? We're all here. I want to tell you guys what I'm planning on doing for my wife's birthday. I'm actually real excited about this. I thought about it, and I'm like, she's going to love this. Hopefully she gets home in time. She had to go in because she has to get everything set up for the work at home situation. Fortunately, at her office, there aren't very many people. She has a bunch of hand sanitizer. She's being very careful. She's only going to stay as long as she absolutely has to get everything in place. They did a conference call yesterday to set it. Anyway, obviously I'm worried. You can probably tell I'm worried, but hopefully she's fine. And, hopefully I have this thing planned. I'm excited about it. I think she's going to like it. I want to tell you guys so bad, but there's a chance. What if she hears this? Oh, and there's one last thing I wanted to share, but I don't know. I don't know if I can because I didn't get permission. Still don't have permission. All right. That's a bummer. Well, you know what? I want to share it anyway, and I'm just going to ask for forgiveness instead of permission because I plan on doing everything to credit the person. So this was by a very close friend and colleague of mine, Rick Overton. This is a poem that Rick Overton wrote. Rick Overton is a brilliant actor and comedian, one of my favorites. And let me make sure I get his Twitter handle right. It's just at Rick Overton on Twitter. So Rick, R-I-C-K, Overton, O-V-E-R-T-O-N. Rick Overton on Twitter. Go ahead and follow Rick. I wanted to read this to you guys. So as you guys know, today is St. Patrick's Day. And a lot of people are calling it St. Pandemic Day instead because, this is what we're dealing with. So Neo-Medieval Nursery Rhyme 2020 by Rick Overton. Again, follow him on Twitter at Rick Overton. Traffic is as light as a feather, sunny skies, yet rotten weather. Businesses closed, there they lay. Happy St. Pandemic Day. Well, what do you think and what do you know? There's no food in the entire row. Yaddy, yaddy, da, yaddy, dee, dee. I gotta wipe me arse on a tree. The hogs stuff their cars with walls worth of goods. If this is human nature, you're better off in the woods. 'Tis the day we used to play, but now inside is where we stay. So before I dash away, happy St. Pandemic's Day. That's by Rick Overton. I asked Rick if I could read this. He didn't respond to me. He sent it to me. And I was like, can I read this on the show? I'll give you full credit. He hasn't gotten back to me yet. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say, hey, Rick, I gave you full credit. I thought you wanted me to share it, and you didn't get back to me. So hopefully he did. But follow him on Twitter at Rick Overton, because Rick's great. And guys, seriously, please stay safe. Please stay safe, and please don't go out unless you have to. Please be very careful. When you do get some sunlight, which if you can, that's a good thing. You do want to get a little sunlight. Take a little walk. Just be careful. Keep social distance. Have hand sanitizer with you. If you see other people walking around, which you likely will, it is important you get exposure to sunlight. You know, that's kind of, you know, they're saying like, don't go out unless it's necessary. You know, the way I see it and the way that all the medical professionals have been saying so far, that does qualify as necessary. Getting a little bit of fresh air, a little bit of sunlight, it's dangerous not to. But be careful when you do that. Keep your distance. Oh, good. Rick just got back to me. He said, not at all, honored. All right, good. So I had Rick's permission. Joe, you can make a clip out of it now. But, so just be careful. I mean, you don't need to hear it from me. You know, the CDC is streaming constantly on YouTube. There's a lot of resources out there. But guys, please stay safe out there. And thank you very much for making me feel a little less alone. If I didn't have this show, I'd probably be going nuts. Really, I'd probably be going nuts. And I know some of you are pointing out, Ron, where we're at, it's winter. I know. Bundle up. Just be careful. I know. Guys, stay safe out there. And thank you for making me feel a little less alone. I'd really be going stir crazy if I didn't have this show. So thank you for allowing me to do this show. Thank you for your Super Chat contributions. The show would not be on the air without you. Thank you for your patronage. I would not be able to do this show without you. Again, if you are stable and you are interested, patreon.com/Ron Placone. There's a lot of content on there for you to catch up on. A lot of stuff. I tell a lot of stories. I share a lot of things that aren't available anywhere else. A lot of fun stuff. I give my thoughts on getting kicked off of the Stephanie Miller show. That's there. And Kate, Dudis, Kat, thank you guys once again. Guys, please stay safe. Please be careful. Please watch yourselves. Please look out for each other. Catch up on, you know, I told you guys that Outsider, I got off of it, which I did. But I'm on to another thing. And I'm into Westworld now. My wife really wanted me to try Westworld. I tried. I like it. I'm a couple episodes in, and I think I'm going to invest in it. By the way, song of the day. Real Mackenzie's Loch Lomond. It's St. Patty's Day, y'all. It's St. Patty's Day. Loch Lomond, classic folk tune. But I like the Real Mackenzie's version the best. Real Mackenzie's Loch Lomond. You take the high road, I'll take the low road, and I'll get to Scotland before you. Lots of love to all my friends out there, too. UK, I think about you daily. Scotland, I think about you daily. I got engaged in Edinburgh, baby. And I still plan to get to you guys next year when this is all over. I still plan to get out to England, Scotland, and Ireland next year for some tour dates and probably some other places in the area, too. I still plan on doing that. But happy St. Patty's Day. I know it's not an ideal one, but let's make the most of it. Rock out some Real Mackenzie's Loch Lomond. Rock out some Celtic punk or just some traditional Celtic. Rock out the Pogues. Hell, even Flogging Molly, Dropkick Murphys. Rock it out. Do it. Thank you guys for being here. And stay safe out there. And I will see you again very soon. In the meantime, you know the drill. Lucy says meow. I say peace. Peace.